Bwah, 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 bwah. Bwah, 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 bwah. Welcome to Kerbal Space Program with Will from the Pixelrater on Pixelrater Plays YouTube. Hello, I'm your host. And today I'm going to be just screwing around a little bit in Kerbal Space Program because this is one of my favorite games of all time. And I say that on a lot of games, but pretty much the common thread is if I'm lost in space, on a planet, or in space, or space is involved, I love it. Favorite kind of game. Second favorite, horror titles usually come in there at some point, but those take a little bit more out of me because I want to be scared enough that I freak out, but not so scared that I shit my pants, and it's a very fine line in there. So I want to be playing a little bit of this. I'm probably just going to start a new save state for this, and we'll just call it new star probe. Perfect. A new star probe. Yes. And we're going to do it as a career, I guess. Managing your own aspects of space program, funds, rep, science are all active. Science is high. Funds and reps are disabled. You just want to get scientific data. I kind of like science mode. I don't really want to have to worry about cash. And we're going to pick a flag for this. The NASA space symbol. Because NASA's the best. And difficult ops. Whoa, that's too much. Start. That sounds good. Sounds good to me. Yeah. So let me add my goggles of protective science here, ready to go. And we're going to get ourselves into position. Welcome to the Space Center. I'm Gene Kerman, Flight Director, and your guide for this quick introduction. This is your Space Center. From here, you can manage all aspects of the space program. Feel free to have a look around, hold the right mouse button to move the camera, or use the arrow keys. Delightful. Right-click over the Space Center facilities to learn more about them, and left-click when you're ready to head inside. I am. Thank you. I've got it. All right, R&D, we don't have anything. We have, like, basic rocketry. I don't have any rep, no science at all. I cannot do anything. So we're actually going to have to just start by making a craft. And if I'm smart about how I do the editing of this video, I'm going to cut out most of the extra bullshit of me just putting these things together and saying, I need more struts! And then I'm going to cut them together for exactly when I say I need more struts. So I missed entirely what he said. Mark 1 command pod. Let's start off with this. That sounds good. Delightful rendering. If I look up, that seems to help. When I look down, it has to render all the Kerbals. Oh, you guys are crawling on me. You're crawling on me. How do I reduce impact, bruh? We can work with this. We are back in action here. I'm excited to put a friggin' booster on this sucker. And that's it. I don't think we have anything else. I've got struts I can apply. I got some fins. I do probably want to snap some fins on here. Triple symmetry. And let's friggin'... Is there a mystery goo containment unit I can put on there? I need one of these, thank you. Oh, you know what? Balance. I need two of these. Haha, you almost got me. You little goober. You know what? I probably don't even need science for this. I will need a parachute. However, very important to be able to take Kermans home. So who is going to be piloting this? Our crew is going to be getting some experience. Jebediah Kerman. Totally fine. Valentina, we're going to save you for a little later. I think it is time to just friggin' push her into orbit. Jeb, don't let me down. Now, my stack is wrong automatically, so let me go ahead and adjust that. I've got my booster and then my parachute, not both. I've got SAS on and RCS on. I do not have my Mecha Jeb. I do have Mecha Jeb installed on this, but I haven't busted it out yet because this is early game. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need very much. And then the internal view, we are in chase cam. We are good to go. Right? Little Jeb, you got your controls. Feeling pretty good. You got your little oxygen tanks ready to get blasted into the friggin' atmosphere. Go. And we're just here to set a height limit today. That is explicitly all we are going to do, is set a height limit. Establish how far we can get with one booster. Jebediah is freaking out inside this tube. He is absolutely not prepared for what has just happened to him. Underwent a whole bunch of G's all at one time. Surprisingly did not black out. He is super good at his job. Can I have you do EVA? Is that a safe decision? That is not a safe decision. I'm not going to have you go EVA. I'm in the upper atmosphere. I don't have any science modules, but everything else is okay. Crew report, please. Let's keep the experiment. I've got a little bit of science. I want to go EVA. Please do an EVA report, keep that experience, and then board the space capsule again. So now I've gotten 2 science, feeling pretty good at this point. We are immediately falling down directly back where we started. If we're lucky, we won't flip. If we are extremely unlucky, we will flip. Let me accelerate time just a tad. Just a tad. Oh, we flipped. Okay. Was sort of hoping we wouldn't flip. And I'm also thinking that we should pop this parachute before we get too far out, because otherwise you will hit the ground like a friggin' missile, and that won't be good. What are you? What are this? What are this? Are you gonna open parachute, please? I need you. Jebediah needs you. I would very much enjoy not exploding into the ground at high velocity. Plus. Okay. Oh my god. And we make it safely down to the ground for a delightful recapture. Right outside of Cape Kerbal here. And we've done our first experiment. Fantastic. We are able to recover the vessel. And we've acquired some science. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Data gathered. We've got 12 plus data gathered. That is science 14. 14.1 science earned. That's all we care about here in this game, right? We're not doing it for the rep. We're doing it for the science because we are scientists. And now I can afford a good number of things. I need some engineering because these are my additional methods of communications, plus stack decoupling is always a good thing, and basic rocketry means we can go farther right away. I have 4.1 left, which is not enough to buy anything except stability parts. Oh, nope, just kidding, can't buy shit. So we're feeling pretty good. Let's get back to the vehicle assembly building. We're going to scrap our first rocket. And now we're talking parts that can have some serious ill effects, I think, if we're not careful with them. We want to try out the hammer fuel booster and see, maybe we'll go further, right, than last time. I think it's fair to assume. We're going to put some wings on that. We're also going to slap in a stack decoupler. Where's my coupler? Here we go. Right in here. Oh. The way this game does stack decoupling, Did I break it? I broke it. Don't save. Just give me a new ship. There we go. We got a new pod. We've got our coupler. Pop to the bottom of that. Pop to the rhythm of the... Pop the rhythm of the... Put the stack decoupling right in between this giant explosive, which is good so that we can pop off the edge there if we don't need it. And we're going to rotate that just because I like the way that it lines up with the little plus. And we're going to slap a shit ton of science on this thing. We're also going to give it 2 mystery goo containers. Not 1, not 3, but... Not 3, but 2 mystery science goo containers. Because we're going to need to know, and a singular too hot thermometer. Because I would like to know what the temperature is in the upper atmosphere here. And we can take that reading on the outside of the ship, I believe. Now, comms relay, don't really need the Communicatron or the Communicatron 16S. Both of those seem a little excessive for what we're trying to do. I don't need struts yet. I will start needing those soon. And for an engine, I really just need my single booster. That's about it. I would like to come back to the planet at some time to Kerbin. Now, I don't want my coupler to pop before I'm ready. I'd like booster, then decouple, and then the pod deployment, because I can do that at the top. And we're going to call this Death Booster 1. Death Boss. We're going to call it Death Boss. That seems like a good name for it, and we're going to launch. I'm ready. Are you ready? Jebediah here is getting a good amount of experience in these ships. He's not exactly sure how he keeps getting roped into it, but as always, he is an astronaut and he is prepared. We're going to take a quick cockpit view, just make sure that he knows where everything is. It sounds like he probably does. Just because you can throttle up in this game doesn't mean that you should, but we're going to throttle that up all the way. It's a booster rocket. It's not like it's really going to do very much for us to not have it. Stage 1 is go. Stage 2, then 1, then 0. And let's go. You ready, Jebediah? Mission control to Jebediah. Are you ready for launch? Sounds like he's good to go. Wait a second. I'm not really sure about what we're doing. Oh, now he is on his way to space. We got to keep an eye on our gimbal here. The RCS, and SAS modules are pretty good. I'm going to do a little bit of observing while this mystery goo is in transit, and one at the peak of our atmospheric return rate. Our solid booster is doing okay. Our too hot thermometer log temperature. Keep the data. And now at the peak of our atmospheric whatever, we need to take a crew report. Have we left? Crew report. Keep experiment, and we're going to go EVA, and you're very carefully going to do an EVA report, keeping that experiment, and we're going to get back in the ship, which seems totally safe. And we're actually going to go ahead and tilt and jettison our base pod. The second one we're going to do is an observation here in space. Keep log temperature. Yeah, it was worth more than the 5. And you are actually going to get back out and take another EVA report, which is probably worth more. Getting back inside. Still climbing, which is probably good. Let's take a look at the map. Where's our periaps? We're coming up to it. All right, and we're going to land in the little bit of the ocean. That is okay. That is okay with us here. Jeb is doing well. I'm going to send him out one more time. I'd like you to get back inside We actually can get a good amount of science here over the different zones. We are not necessarily in direct connection with the Space Center because I did not put radios on this. I don't have any ability to do that, but technically we are in orbit. We're going to take one more EVA report and get back inside. Dump the experiment. So we haven't gotten that one. Kerbin's Grasslands we're still on. And I think we're probably going to be going just a bit too fast to feel comfortable here when we are returning from orbit. Now, mind you, I only have one pod on here, so that'll be good. I don't have any other additional fuel. I'm gonna come down. So let me accelerate this process a little bit for us. Let's go ahead and open that up here, shall we? Stability assist is on. Probably don't need that. RCS, definitely don't have RCS. I don't know why I've been turning it on all these times. There's my shadow. And once again, Jebediah comes back as a hero for the Kerbal Space Program. Yeah, there it is. It has fully deployed. We are safe. We're coming down under 600 meters here. And we'll just time warp down until we touch the ground. I think that was my booster rocket exploding. And I don't feel bad about that because it landed pretty close to the launch site. So that's probably wreckage we can re-salvage. And pretty safely there. And then one last thing that we can do while we're here is we can actually get out and do a second EVA, take a new EVA report, keep it. We want to store the experiment. We also want to take a surface sample, keep the experiment, store that experiment in the pod, take another crew report. Oh, he won't let me do it. Okay, no. Surface sample, keep the experiment, and then we want to get rescued, but I don't think it'll let me do that until I'm back in the ship. All right, I can't do that. Dump the experiment, ready to recover the vessel. Yes. Back to the landing zone. We now have what? 76 science from one mission with an additional booster. I know. You guys are like, dude, holy shit, you played this game before. I'm like, nah, only once or 30 times. I don't know what you're talking about. I put like 4,500 hours into this game. Anyway, I'm having a good time, but now I can do general rocketry. We can talk about fins. We can talk about survivability, which is quite important, actually, when it comes to the Kerbins. And we can talk about getting a bigger world of power, of advanced rocketry going. I think number one, though, we're going to want to unlock all three of these. So let's go ahead and do that. Research. And now we actually can afford... why does it say I can afford this one? Do I get a loan? I have 23 science. Nah, okay. I was like, the other one's grayed out. It didn't on that one. That was a little weird. Okay, so we now have a little bit more. We're feeling pretty good. I don't necessarily need to go to the spaceplane hangar. I don't need to recruit anybody. Administrative facility is off because I don't have to worry about power. And the tracking station is like, yo, bro, you don't got shit in space right now. But our ultimate goal here is to jettison across the stars, through the solar system, all the way over to Duna. One day in Juna, we'll get to Duna. You know what? Just for old time's sake, let's send one more rocket. What do you say? What the hey, guys? Come here, you. What the hey? I think we can get at least one thing into orbit before I quit. There is a massive solid fuel booster. I don't really want to use that. I would rather use a fuel tank to get up there after. So let's do a basic ship. Let's give it a fuel tank and a half for thrust. Another stack decoupler, because screw landing there. Aerodynamics, winglets, basic fin, don't really care. too much about maneuverability in space. That's fine. This is just for like upper atmosphere shit. And to be honest, probably we're gonna get there on the single hammer booster. If we're lucky, we'll get there on the single hammer. You know what? I'm gonna move you guys down here. Base rocketry, sending shit into space. Comms, don't need them. We're gonna wing it. 2 mystery goos, please. Just 2. Oh, you're already on the capsule. Fantastic. And a pressure map barometer. Local atmospheric pressure. Warranty voided if exposed to air, which is sort of interesting. That's like the one thing we're gonna do to this. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I do be saying? I don't know what I'm saying. Let me go ahead and post that right there. On the edge of the ship and on the edge of your seat and mine. We're getting ready. Aerodynamics are good. Nose cone, don't care. Survivability, don't really care. Utility, theoretically the Mark 16 should be able to get us back since we're just going to have the pod come down. I don't really need the radial mounts. Don't need electrical. Don't care about thermal heat shielding. Though I might should. It is a risk I am willing to take to get into space. Ground struts? Nah. And no SAS module, but my coupler has it, I think. No, it's in the pod. So we good, you know, we good to go. And this is Death Boss 2 because we have original names here. Death Boss 2. It's ready to go. We've got our solid booster assembly decoupled. Oh, I should probably put some form of rocket engine on the bottom of that, or else it's just fuel. Swivel, this has a max thrust of 167 newtons, 205. We want to be going hard. I say go ham for our final thrust into space, the final frontier. And you know what? Because probably we're going to wish that we had something to hold us up on the ground. Maybe we should put some landing struts. I could be wrong about that. This could be a terrible decision, but I'm thinking maybe we should start just by doing this. So let me quickly save Death Boss 2. And our pods are good. 1, decouple. 2, launch, decouple, and then deploy. Yeah, I think we're square. I think we're square to go. So we're going to give him one more. Jebediah Kerman is going to go up into space. Our decouplers are down here. It's sitting on the struts pretty hard. I like that. I don't have any RCS, so it doesn't really matter, but SAS I do probably have. And then we're going to try to make for a quick orbit. Even if we don't make a full circle, probably just enough to go to another continent. And that, I think, will be good enough for me. So let's throttle this up. And we'll friggin' hit it. We're going to pull our gears in. A little more aerodynamic. And now we have to be careful because we got to watch our gimbal roll. We are much heavier than we were. We are much heavier. And the thing about space program is they are quite finicky, and you got to play it by ear all of the time. We are out of solid fuel, and we want to detach and engage our secondary rocket, which is going to be pushing us most of the way into the ground. That's cool. We're good to go on this. Not a problem. Let's just go ahead and take some science while we're here. Right? We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. We're gonna rotate up towards our acceleration velocity, and we're actually gonna throttle back up and see if we can't rescue this. I think we can keep climbing. We've got a little more liquid fuel here. We're still going up into the atmo. We want to take a couple of different approaches. Full blast. And then I think we should probably just jettison this full assembly here. Because it's doing nothing but weighing us back. So let's get rid of it. And now we're going to take another goo reading. Getting very cold now. We're going to send Jebediah out onto the outside of the ship. He's not very happy when I do this, but it is good for him to get an idea. Oh, looks like he's got jack shit to say about this. He's feeling very uncomfortable. Crew report, nothing again. Over our atmosphere. If we can get into orbit, though, which we're very close to hitting, at least into space. There's the music. Now I can actually get some solid science going. M for map. There we go. Crew report for me, please. We are very much in space now. EVA, I would like you to take an EVA report. Get me some science. Store those experiments. I would like some temperature logs. Oh, externally controlled by a scientist. I'm not even a scientist. Okay, so I got to get back in, and then I can remotely do it. Log temp, not useful. And log pressure data, very useful. Log temperature, not useful. Okay, so we've got our 2 sciences. We're feeling pretty good about this. We're ready to come home. It looks like I am way above the Earth, the Kerbin. Let's see if we can't take another EVA report. Yes, we can. And get back in. He does not want to store that because he's already gotten a good idea from Kerbin's water. And we're going to accelerate until we start to... Oh, shit. I forgot I was going very fast, and that has a tendency to screw up my roll. Batteries seem to be okay. Not getting too much information here from them. Log temp, keep experiments. Log pressure data, no, cancel. Probably more useful to keep it. I am falling very fast. I think I would be sucked off the ship if I were to exit and do an EVA scan at the moment. I will not be doing that because I like Jebediah and he's my favorite pilot. And while we have, what was her name? Jezebel Kerbin. She seems like a great option for later when Jebediah inevitably dies. That looks like the Death Star on the moon. That is awesome. We got to go to the moon next. Oh, that's cool. I'm very excited about that. So if you guys haven't played this game, again, it's called Kerbal Space Program, which is in the title, but I mean, you're going to see this. It is absolutely an outstanding game. There is really nothing wrong with interior overlay. What does that do? Oh, that's a cool little feature. I didn't know they did that. Neato, guys. Neato, gang. I like that. There's a lot to be said about this game, and for the amount of fun that I've had with it over the years. I mean, absolutely still one of the top dog, and I would wager the best physics in space simulator that you can get. I actually think that Kerbal Space Program is one of the best, if not the best, space simulator games that has ever been made. And if you disagree with me, I'll fight you. So we're landing here back on Kerman. We're going to get some more EVA data on top of, and if I'm lucky, I can roll it on top of the ship. The sort of trick here is to put the face up when you touch down so that he can stand on it and not immediately fall in the water and lose the ability to get back in the ship, which is sort of a problem. Not that I can't be rescued from that. It's just easier to get picked up if I'm in the ship, per se. Let's accelerate just a bit. Not too far, though. All right, we're under 50 meters. Okay, so the goal now is to push forward so that the door stays up when I splash down in 2, 1. There we go. I think I got it. Are you going to stay that way? You're not going to stay that way, are you? Oh, it's annoying. Crew report. No. I can probably get out in time to get back in the ship, but that also seems like a risky maneuver. It rolls pretty fast. All right, we'll let him get picked up here. We've had enough science for today. Pretty good. We survived. We made it deeper into space than ever before in only 3 launches because we are amazing. We gained 67. We gained 44 science, and we are now at 67 science earned. Jebediah is doing pretty friggin' dope. He's feeling great. I can afford some new stuff. But we're going to save these choices for next time. I'm thinking like we might go towards maybe some flight control mecha jebs, stuff like that. Send a little bit more dangerous stuff. Launch a probe. Because with mech jeb, I don't need to risk my Kermans. Or the Stay Put Nicks. I can put a satellite up there, start taking some photos. We'll see what we do. There's a lot of new stuff in this game. They continue to be amazing. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining us here. File name Pixel Play. Sure. On the Pixelrater Plays YouTube. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. We dig around. We have fun with games. Thanks so much for joining us. I've been your host, Will. You can follow me at Twitter at Scotch_man, or on Pixelrater, on Twitch, on YouTube, obviously, because you're watching me here and I'm an idiot. But the point is, thank you for being here, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.